Hello friends, welcome to Tapovan trek. This trek happens to be one of the best treks I have ever done till date. Well, in Tapovan, we got a variety of feelings throughout the trek. But before beginning, let me tell you that I have kept this video in a long format, in a single piece, so that you get all kinds of information from this single video and you don't need to skip to episodes of videos to search for various informations. Now, what about this trek can I tell you? From lush green meadows to green pine forests to bhuju plants and then snow blizzards, we got everything. Astounding views of mountain peaks like Bhagirathi, meadow, shivling, then Sudarshan Parvat. We got to see each and every one of them and take wonderful pictures, do good videos. Then we got to stay at Lal Baba Ashram, meet Mouni Baba himself. So everything was there in this trek. Then I'm forgetting about crossing the Bhagirathi river on that trolley. So if you come to this trek, you get everything.
So let's understand the trekking map first. The Gangotri is the starting point of our trek, which is at 10,050 feet. So from Gangotri, we went ahead to Bhojbasa on the first day. Now this red line shows the trekking route, while Bhagirathi is flowing on the right hand side of our trekking route. The first point which we get on our way to Bhojbasa is Chirbasa. As you can see over here, Chirbasa, and all the way to Chirbasa there is a lot of greenery around. Now Chirbasa, there are camping sites at Chirbasa, but we did not stay there. Chirbasa is approximately 10 kilometers from Gangotri and is at a height of 11,630 feet. So from Chirbasa, after taking lunch over there on the first day, we went ahead to Bhojbasa. Now from Chirbasa to Bhojbasa, the route is devoid of any kind of plantation except bhuj plants, and there are a lot of small streams which you get to cross, and two rockfall zones or landslide zones, whatever you say. Now Bhojbasa is also the place where Lal Baba Ashram is there, and it is at a height of 12,415 feet. The distance from Chirbasa to Bhojbasa is approximately 5 to 6 kilometers. Now from Bhojbasa, there is a notable change in the trekking route, as you need to cross over to the other side of Bhagirathi via a hand-pulled trolley. So from Bhojbasa, what happens is there are two routes, mainly one which leads you to Gaumukh and the other which leads you to Tapovan. So from this point, if you want to go to Gaumukh, you need to come down and go over here, and while if you are going towards Tapovan, then you continue on the same route. And finally there is a 1 kilometer incline which you need to negotiate to walk up to Tapovan. This is the most critical part because it is a rockfall zone. And as you can see, from Tapovan, the other side is Nandanvan, and it is from this place that you start to get the views of beautiful peaks. This is the Bhagirathi sisters, as you can already see. And just to the right side of Tapovan, you will get to view the shivling. This is the shivling peak, and further to the right you will also see the meadow massif. Yeah, you can see the meadow massif is coming into view, and this whole area is the glacier, Gangotri glacier as it is known. So Tapovan, which is at a height of 14,203 feet, and is that distance from Bhojbasa to Tapovan is approximately 6 to 7 kilometers.
So it was a wonderful experience of 5-7 days. So I'm sure that you're ready to feel the experience. So let's get straight to the video.
From Kolkata, we boarded the Upasana Express, which would take us directly to Dehradun in 30 hours time. We booked third AC tickets for our 4-member team and took off from Howrah station with full energy. We did enjoy some good meals on board the train. At the end of the day, I must say that it is far better to go via Delhi. The coaches of this train as on date were the old ones, and once we get into Bihar, locals start using this as a local train. They simply get on to the reservation coaches and start sitting here and there. Strangely, we did not find any TT or security personnel trying to stop this. Anyways, we passed through a few thunderstorms as we crossed the Purulia district in West Bengal. I was getting reminded of the unfavorable weather prediction during our trekking days ahead. It had shown heavy snowfall on 70% of the days of our trek. We were also getting information that due to inclement weather conditions, authorities were not granting permission to get into Gangotri National Park, which meant we will not be able to start our trek in such a case. Hence, throughout our train journey, we could only pray and hope for the best. We had made prior booking for the night at GMV and Hotel Drona in Dehradun. It is only a kilometer away from the railway station. Hence, as soon as we reached, we took an auto rickshaw to the hotel. Without wasting any time, we checked into our rooms, freshened up, and took dinner outside at Punjabi Dhaba, which served one of the best foods I ever tasted. All the haste we were in was to get some good night's sleep and start our journey the next day at 5 am to Gangotri. Priyanshu would be picking us up sharp at 5 am the next day. We were surprised to see that Priyanshu had arrived in a Ford Endeavour the next day. It was his own vehicle. We were only 4 of us, myself along with my uncle Ashok Sen and his 2 friends, Mr. Alok Datto and Shubhranshu De. All of them were knocking the doors of senior citizenship, while my uncle had already reached that landmark. It was our first trek after COVID, and naturally stepping into the Himalayan region was enough to give me goosebumps. The trees guarding the lonely road on both the sides and the hide and seek of the foothills as we keep gaining altitude was generating an unexplainable feeling inside me. After passing for about an hour, we stopped to take light breakfast in a beautiful location. Interacting with Priyanshu, we came to know that he runs a hotel at Harshil, which happens to be a pristine location on the way to Gangotri. We will get to see some beautiful footages of the place once we cross the area along our journey. All along our route, we would find river Bhagirathi on the right hand side. At around 1 pm, we stopped to take a light lunch on a roadside dhaba. We took Maggie as a quick but long-lasting option and started our journey again. Priyanshu was warning us of the traffic jam ahead, which we might face from Gangani onwards due to narrow roads. And he was right. We got stuck there for about 2 hours. Only one lane was being allowed at a time. However, all the waiting was overcome when we got into the Harshil valley. I don't know how much justice I am doing via my footages, but one needs to come here and see for themselves the beauty of this place. In spite of the bustling Bhagirathi flowing through the area, the place was strangely calm and quiet. Still admiring the beauty of Harshil, we reached Gangotri in no time. It takes hardly another 30 to 40 minutes to reach here from Harshil. In total, it took us 12 hours to reach from Dehradun. We drove around 290 kilometers from Dehradun to reach here. Usually your trekking agency will arrange the vehicle for you along with other trekkers. In our case though, we had mentioned strictly to keep the vehicle separate for us, just to make the journey a bit more luxurious. Gangotri, located at 10,200 feet, is a Hindu pilgrimage on the banks of river Bhagirathi. It is one of the 4 sites in the Chota Chardham Jatra circuit. Manish, who runs the trekking agency called Sat Expeds and with whom we were doing this trek, had already informed us about Sandeep, who would be receiving us. We checked into a small lodge and made ourselves comfortable. But it had already started to rain and there was no electricity on top of that. Suddenly, the mobile towers had also vanished. The day was 25th May 2023 and we came to know that for the last 2 days it had been raining relentlessly and permissions were not being granted to trek. It is only from today, eyeing a favorable weather window for the next 3 days, that the authorities had decided to give permission from tomorrow, that is 26th May. Hence, we were extremely lucky and thanked God for all of it. It was extremely cold, sub-zero temperatures, and I woke up to the sound of the sweeper cleaning the streets, freshened up and went out to see what the condition was. The clouds started clearing away, exposing the beautiful green pine forests on the hill slopes around Gangotri.
We did not get electricity since yesterday. We thought that Gangotri would be the last point for charging our batteries and mobile phones, but there was quite a bit of rain yesterday evening, and there was no internet or cell network also, but that got restored. But the power didn't. It was coming and going. So we have to bank on our power banks now. Since yesterday we have kept all the phones and chargers plugged in, but now that in 1 or 2 hours time we will start our trek, I don't think that power is going to come, and that's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, fine, we have a lot of power banks, so we will have to rely on those. Nonetheless, it's a grand view today. Yesterday it was really pouring down, but today the weather is perfect. Just have a look. The mountains are clearly visible now.
My uncle had brought some old clothing for distributing among the needy porters. Many from our neighborhood had also contributed to this cloth distribution. Keeping the extra luggage at Gangotri in safe custody with our agency, we started our trek. Walking through the lanes which take us to the temple, we offered our prayers from a distance about the safety of the trek, our health, and everything in general. The trekking route starts from the left side of the temple complex and gains altitude, bringing you to the checkpost where the necessary permissions are made, and one needs to pay for the cameras they are carrying. As on date, drones are not allowed strictly. Personal cameras costed 500 rupees each for Indian nationals. Mobile cameras did not cost any. So we started walking up the moderate incline and well-marked path with few boulders here and there to start with. But overall, the path was quite good. There were some impressive tree structures on the way, which added to the beauty of the trail. A water pipeline running all along the route initially, with a few leakages at places. And it was a windy day, very, very windy, with the leaves of the trees making fast movements as if to welcome us on the trek. Strangely, we found that the right side of the trail, that is on the other side of river Bhagirathi, was much greener with thick pine tree coverage, while on the left hand side of the trail, the tree cover was sparse and the rock structures were barren with considerable heights.
Hello guys, so this is the first day of our Gomukh Tapovan trek, and today we are going straight to Bhojbasa. We will be camping over there. We are not staying at Chirbasa, and as we have started our walk, all along we can see Mount Sudarshan and river Bhagirathi is accompanying us on the right hand side below. It's a wonderful day and the weather is absolutely perfect after yesterday's heavy rainfall, day before yesterday also. This one is quite good, so we are hoping that throughout the trek, which will continue for the next 7 days, we will get a favorable weather. so that we can picture a lot of things and make a lot of videos. Currently we are walking through a zone where we can find a lot of pine trees on both sides of the mountain, while there are also certain areas where we can find landslide zones, while a bit ahead we can see that the lining of trees is ending. That is after Chirbasa, I believe. The tree line will end, and a lot of snow-capped peaks are also visible currently from where we are walking. Check this beautiful tree. Well, the instruction was clear, wasn't it? This is the BHARAL corridor, and we are also hoping to see a few BHARALs, and I'll be really lucky if I find them, because I've never seen them in my life. So it is important to keep the place clean and not play loud music, because that will be disturbing the natural environment for them.
We had a few stream crossings on the way to Bhojbasa. In the initial few, we had to negotiate the stream on rocks. Naturally, in such places, the well-marked trail gave way to gradual declines, followed by gradual inclines also to join back into the trail. These places also gave us the opportunity to refill our water bottles. Our young guide Peter, who was only 16 years of age, was helping me with the bottle here. In few patches of the trail where there were pine trees, the fallen dried leaves were giving the trail a reddish look, while at other times the trail was rocky with a diminishing tree coverage as we approached Bhojbasa and gained altitude. Khatchars or donkeys are a common mode of transport till Bhojbasa, and mainly yatris who are willing to go to Gaumukh take this mode of transport. They are usually senior citizens and are not regular trekkers. Just before reaching the Chirbasa campsite, we found an open area to sit and rest our backs a bit. Although we were taking such stops many times along the route, this was still of a lot of importance. It is of utmost priority to stay hydrated along the trek also. The nearby stream gave me another opportunity to refill my bottle again. In this trek, even if you want, you cannot carry more than 2 water bottles. So refilling the water bottle at regular intervals from proper streams is of utmost importance.
Almost 4.5 hours into the trek, we are about to reach the Chirbasa campsite, and on the way we didn't get to see any bharals or blue ship as it is called, but the mountains. The first one we saw right from Gangotri was this Mount Sudarshan, and then as we kept walking towards Chirbasa, Mount Sudarshan just vanished behind these huge, absolutely huge walls. You can see these are rock faces, bare rock faces, and they're standing like anything. It looks scary, you know. If you just want to have a look at them, you just need to tilt your head. But as Mount Sudarshan gave away, just in front of us, the Bhagirathi sisters started opening up. And as I speak, I can see one of them. I can't recall which one it is, but I'll give you the info. We can see one of them. So let's go ahead and take our lunch at Chirbasa site.
Watching the porters carry almost 15 to 20 kilo weight, if not more, on their backs and still walking faster than us gave us an idea about our physical capabilities. We may speak highly about ourselves in the plains and post pictures of workout in the gym, but our strength is nothing compared to these hard-working, laborious men of the hills. On reaching Chirbasa campsite, we took our packed lunch and ordered some coffee, biscuits at the local store. A very deep conversation started here, whether to go ahead to Bhojbasa or stay at Chirbasa. This place is almost 10 kilometers away from Gangotri, and on the first day of the trek, walking more than 10 kilometers was strenuous for our senior members of the group. I will not lie, because it was also very difficult for me on the first day to walk more than 10 kilometers. However, our agency had no camps set up here, and availability of water was an issue according to them. So after some rest, we decided to move on and cover the rest 4 kilometers, they say, to reach Bhojbasa. But it felt like we walked more than 18 kilometers on that day.
So we have left the Chirbasa campsite and we are walking down towards Bhojbasa now. So as we walk down towards Bhojbasa, now Nandi Parvat has come into the horizon. Such a beautiful mountain, and along with Nandi Parvat, after walking for about 5-10 minutes, we can see shivling peeking just from behind Nandi Parvat on the left hand side. Such a wonderful view. And all the time Bhagirathi sisters are also visible. So as we walk down, Bhagirathi sisters are on our left hand side. That actually it is right in front, but Bhagirathi river, if you consider that as a reference point, then the Bhagirathi mountains are on the left hand side and Nandi Parvat on the right hand side. And Yes, these mountains, as we walk down on my left, are bare rock surfaces projecting out of this massive structures. Everything adds to the beauty. As you can see, now the landscape is devoid of any pine trees. As we left Chirbasa, so has the tree line also. So from now onwards, it's almost a barren landscape. We can find junipers here and there, but the green stuff is gone. There is a very noticeable change in the surroundings now as we walk down towards Bhojbasa. Nice.
Thank you.
Just as we start getting near Bhojbasa, we can find a dramatic change in the landscape, in the vegetation, and this whole place is covered by Bhoj trees. This tree you see, and similarly this whole landscape is filled by Bhoj plant. So that is from where this place gets its name, Bhojbasa, the place where Bhoj trees live. So there was a warning sign. Our guide just told us that few paces ahead there is a rockfall zone, so we will be crossing that together while keeping a very vigilant pair of eyes on the top side to prevent any rock falling and hitting us. So I'll go ahead and wait. At the same time, some porters are saying that a bear has been spotted on the other side of Bhagirathi, although I have not been able to see it, but they are claiming that it's down there. So if I do get to see it, then you will also get to see it. Let's see what happens. Friends, we have just now got to see a Himalayan brown bear on the other side of Bhagirathi. As I was just telling you, few of the porters were saying that they can see a bear, and we are extremely fortunate, but we are not disturbing the wing because it's a wild bear and it can be extremely dangerous. So I'm clicking photos with my 150-600 Tamron lens, and this is an excellent moment of this trip. Let's enjoy this. Well, this is the warning sign which I was talking of, which my guide was also talking of, that those rocks are falling from above. So we need to be careful. I will wait here for my guide and we will cross this patch together as a team. Look at this landscape. Not you there. Lose! Oh, they're waiting for us. And this is the area of this rockfall zone.
I could not film most of the stretches of the rockfall zone, as it was too risky, obviously. I had to keep a constant watch on the hills for any falling rocks and simultaneously walk at a constant pace. And also, I had to keep a constant look on the downside also so that I don't step off the trail. However, I managed this small clip for you to get a feel of the area as we crossed it.
So we have finally reached Bhojbasa campsite. It was really tough on my legs. Same with my co-trekkers also. The view is just beautiful with sunset happening on the Bhagirathi sisters and the yellow red tents in the valley with the ashram just in front.
We were so tired on reaching the campsite that we just fell into our camps and dozed off. This particular thing proved to be extremely costly for myself. It is absolutely mandatory to do some stretching exercises to avoid cramps and acclimatize yourself with the altitude. On top of that, it started snowing and the surrounding changed in a matter of few minutes. From a brownish landscape, it changed into a whitish one. Overnight, I started getting cramps in my stomach and I had a vomiting sensation, early signs of HAS. Fortunately, there was a doctor from the NDRF team who were doing Bhagirathi 2 expedition. He gave me Diamox. It helped me recover throughout the next day, which we decided to stay back at Bhojbasa. Of course, I could not film myself being sick. We started exploring the place. The nearby GMVN hut where there is good staying options in dormitories. Similar option is also there at Lal Baba Ashram, which charges Rs 500 per person per day for fooding and lodging. Coincidentally, we did stay at Lal Baba Ashram on our return journey due to extremely bad weather conditions. We got a feel of the rush at the hand-pulled trolley section, which is used to cross the Bhagirathi river. It is a tedious job as the guides and porters of the agencies pull the ropes from each end to carry their guests to safety. In few cases, the guests also lend a helping hand, but there are high chances of cutting your fingers if you are not careful while pulling the ropes. As gravity sent the trolley to a certain distance, the porter and guides on the other side start pulling from there to bring the trolley home to their side.
It was an absolutely clear day, clear weather, bright sunshine from the morning, but suddenly now it's around 6:15. Suddenly the weather just changed drastically and snowfall has started at Bhojbasa campsite. Tomorrow we will be heading towards Tapovan and well, I don't know, snowfall is a good omen or a bad, but we have to deal with it. Although the snowfall is not very heavy, it's just powder snow falling. Yesterday night also there was a bit of snowfall, followed by that today in the morning the weather was excellent. So we are just hoping that after this snowfall also tomorrow we will get a perfect weather at Tapovan.
The next morning, after taking our delicious breakfast, we had only one thing to do: cross over to the other side of river Bhagirathi and start our trek.
So after waiting for about 3.5 hours in the queue, we finally got our turn to cross the Bhagirathi river to the right side. So I do recommend that if you're coming here and this trolley system is there, then at least you should come and stand in the queue from around 6:30, or else we came to the queue at around 8 a.m. and at 11:30 we got the chance to cross over. So now if we start our trek by 12, it will get really late in the evening by the time we reach Tapovan. So So it's highly recommended that you get to the queue really fast, because it's not only us but the porters and the materials also that need to cross. So let's start the trek now. So as we walk down towards Tapovan, there is a very strong northerly wind that's blowing right from our backside, and it's really cold and chilly. As we walk down, we get views of Bhagirathi sisters right in front of us. So as we keep walking, we have still not reached near Gaumukh, but shivling has become visible on the right hand side, with Bhagirathi peaks now slowly getting more towards the left. The walk till now has not been that difficult, but from Gomukh to Tapovan, people are saying that the incline is quite steep, so we need to get to that place as early as possible so that we can give maximum time in climbing that incline. Incline will start, but as you can see, there is a lot of rockfall happening. There's a lot of dust because of that, so this is a very tricky place. We need to be extremely careful while negotiating this place. And so we are waiting a bit over here, and
This is the Gangotri glacier. Gaumukh is just below this place, and over here this is the Bhagirathi sisters in view, and this is the place from where we need to climb and then go straight up to reach Tapovan. Over here you can also find that there's a lot of dust. This is because of the rock falling from this place. This was the nearest we reached to Gaumukh. We had plans of going nearer while on our way back, but the weather deteriorated so much on our descent that we were not able to reach the place. After climbing upwards on the incline, you will find Sky Ganga written on the rock. As you walk up the incline, this stream of water, better known as AKASH Ganga, flows right by your side. And later, we will enjoy this beauty while camping at Tapovan. Slowly but surely, the dominating presence of Mount Shivling comes into view as we reach the end of the incline. Finally, we made it. This time we did not make the mistake of entering our tent. Instead, we spent some quality time outside with other fellow trekkers and exercised a bit also. It was almost 5 pm when we reached Tapovan. So enjoying the sunset on the Bhagirathi sisters was a privilege for us from one of the highest meadows in India at 14,200 feet. In this extremely cold weather, where the temperature went below 0 degrees Celsius, the kitchen was a good place to take refuge in. And yes, if you can manage to warm your handkerchief against the body of the stove and then apply it on your cheeks, then it does give a sense of comfort. Extremely tired, we went to bed, waiting to explore the next morning. We had planned to stay 2 nights at Tapovan. Hence, we had ample amount of time. The next morning, we set off to explore the area. Still recovering from my illness, I was finding it difficult to move a few steps also. Therefore, I restricted myself to nearby areas only, while my uncle went further ahead by 2-3 kilometers to explore the area by the side of the Gangotri glacier. He had taken some amazing pictures of the mountain ranges from there.
We are going towards Mouni Baba Ashram now. The camping site is below, over there, in the plain land, and we are climbing up towards the ashram. It's a perfect weather, and we hope that this weather stays for some time now while we will be exploring Tapovan. Here, we have reached the ashram. Just have a look. So we are at the topmost point of Tapovan. You can see the shivling over here, and we are getting grand views of the total area, 360-degree view. We're surrounded by all the peaks. We can see the Gangotri glacier, Nandanvan. You can see Nandanvan is there to the other side, and that's the route that takes you to Vasukital also. And we can see grand views of Mount Shivling, the Bhagirathi peaks, Nandi Parvat, and the Tapovan meadow. The meadow is so huge, and Akash Ganga flows right through that meadow. I don't know from where actually Akash Ganga originates, but this is such a mystery to all of us.
I will not say that the water was crystal clear. We were usually drinking directly from the Akash Ganga and did not fall ill. This water source is also used for cooking purpose, etc. If there is rainfall, the water turns murky a bit, owing to the nature of topography on which it flows. At that time, it is recommended to boil and use the water after filtering it over a piece of cloth.
Guys, I'm standing right at the edge. Gangotri glacier is just to my left, and Nandanvan, as you can see. I was just amazed by the amount of crevasses that I can see from here on the glacier. It's really difficult to cross it. You know, from the plains we can say a lot of things, but simply going from Tapovan to Nandanvan is a huge task for normal trekkers like us. Vasukital is also on that route. So I was just sitting here for more than half an hour. I was just simply gazing at the vast expanse of the glacier. It's huge. Camping is done only on the meadows. Mouni Baba Ashram is just a few feet below from this place. Currently at this point of time he is doing some meditation, so we will wait for some time and then go ahead and have a chat with him. Mouni Baba, as understood, was in a period of silence for a certain period of time, but now he talks to everyone. So that will also be an experience for us. Okay, let's enjoy the views now.
We interacted with Mouni Baba for quite a long time, and his humble abode was very comfortable from inside. Baba treated us with hot tea and shared his thoughts on life in general. My uncle had a very intriguing conversation with him regarding his previous visit to the place when Simlai Baba used to stay in the same hut where Mouni Baba was staying now. That was way back in the year 2000. We were lucky to take some selfies with him. Now coming outside, we could find there were few other huts in the area also. These used to be dwellings of other saints or Mahatmas in earlier years, although we cannot call it abandoned now since the doors were locked from outside. Maybe someday they will return here. These birds you see looks like a crow, but they are actually from the chug family and are called yellow-billed chug. You will start finding them in plenty from Bhojbasa campsite and mainly near the areas where kitchen waste is disposed of. They are not shy and you can go quite close to them. Besides these, we found big flocks of snow pigeon at Tapovan. Blue-capped redstart was another species found here. We could also hear prominent calls of chirp pheasant, but it was so far away that we could not manage any good pictures at Tapovan. We saw them on the high rock face to the right side of Tapovan while facing Mount Shivling. And finally, we did manage to see Bharals. This picture was taken on our way back to Gangotri, just after Chirbasa campsite where the signs were given for Bharal corridor. We also saw them while climbing up to Tapovan near Gomukh, but could not manage any good pictures from there. It was lunchtime on day 2 at Tapovan. We enjoyed the meal, but little did we know that the weather would change drastically from now on for the next few days. Thus started the snowfall, along with heavy gusts of wind which broke our toilet tent.
There is immense amount of snowfall happening at Tapovan, and most importantly, it has been snowing for the last almost 2-3 hours now, and it has been snowing incessantly. So everybody is inside their tents. Few people have just come up and they are enjoying the snowfall, but I'm sure many will still be on the way, and it will get really difficult to climb that incline in such a snowfall and such a bad weather. So I just hope that they reach here safely, and as far as we are concerned, we are getting very good treatment from our organizers in this kind of a snowfall. Also, they are giving us snacks, they are giving us coffee, tea, pakora and everything. So that is really a bonus for all of us. But I just hope that this snowfall stops and we are able to enjoy the beauty that's around, because when it's snowing, it's a complete whiteout.
But it did not stop. From one lunch to the other on the next day, the weather hardly showed any signs of clearing. We could only sit back inside our tents and gossip. It was unfortunate for other trekkers who were staying just for one night at Tapovan because they could not see anything in the whiteout. And the snowfall got so heavy that it was difficult to venture outside the tent also. The wind had also picked up further, and my plans of astrophotography, nightscapes all just vanished. However, I was grateful enough for the clear weather we got on the very first day itself. That was enough for me. After all, you cannot accurately predict the weather in the mountains.
That is the amount of snow which is falling today, and today is the day when we have to get down from Tapovan to Bhojbasa. Yesterday we had a chance to get down, but we thought that the weather will be okay today. But today, since morning 5:30, the weather just turned so cloudy and it has started snowing, and already 1 foot of snow has already fallen outside. You can see how it has started to just cramp up our tents, and we need to clear it, otherwise it will break the tent. So we have no other option, we have to get down today. The only good thing is that the wind is not blowing, and we have a team of around 14 plus V4, and there will be porters and guides, so together I believe we can make it. Let's see. Yeah, so that is called whiteout, pure whiteout. Visibility has been reduced to the minimum. We can just barely see around 10 meters ahead of us. That's it. Few seconds ago also there was good amount of visibility, but then suddenly this cloud has moved into the valley. Whoa, and we have to get down. Let's see.
Just as we were finishing our breakfast, another group had already started their way back amidst the whiteout.
So we have started walking from Tapovan to Bhojbasa, and as you can see, it is still snowing. It has started snowing from 5:30 a.m. in the morning, and now it's almost 9. It is still snowing, so we have to go down under these conditions. The main tricky section will be the boulder section, which we have to negotiate, but we have capable guides to help us negotiate that place. Let's hope for the best. So as we keep walking, AKASH Ganga, although most of the part of it is frozen, but still AKASH Ganga is flowing, and this is quite a surprise because everything around is just frozen except this flowing water. Such a marvelous piece of creation, isn't it? গোড়ালির জোরে অত বড় বড় স্টেপ না, ছোট ছোট স্টেপ, ছোট ছোট স্টেপ। ঠিক আছে, ছোট ছোট স্টেপস নাও। এসো এসো, এদিক দিয়ে এসো এসো, দাঁড়াবে না, প্রচুর স্নো পড়ছে। রাস্তা বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে, সাইড হয়ে নামো। হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, ওপরে ওঠো ওঠো ওঠো, জলের ওপর পা দাও, বাস উপরে, ওয়েল ডান, বাস এবার এদিকে, ভেরি গুড, আজাও 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 আজাও, ঠিক আছে। I don't know what to say about this trek, because it was something which I didn't predict. It was something which I didn't expect, and you can see the landscape. This doesn't look like a summer trek. It's a winter landscape. And today while coming down, it has been snowing since 5:30 a.m. in the morning. It's snowing even now. Not many of our team members fell pretty badly on the slopes due to loose rocks. My uncle fell badly, and these are precarious situations. Really, one needs to be extremely careful, and everyone knows that the incline is tricky with loose rocks falling, but with the snowfall, things have got even worse. I didn't expect this kind of an ending, but anyways, it is an experience which I think no one will ever forget, whoever has been a part of today's journey from Tapovan to Bhojbasa. It was dangerous, seriously.
The day after going through that ordeal, we were desperate to reach our tents and take some rest. We got wet. The ponchos were not enough to protect us from the blizzard. The shoes were also wet. All of us like to enjoy snowfall, but trust me, while you are trekking, rainfall, snowfall are not at all a welcome situation. On top of that, the wind had started blowing even faster. There were very few people at the trolley area to push and pull us through. Here I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to NDRF team stationed at Bhojbasa, who had helped us cross the trolley section when no people were there to pull us to the campsite. It rained throughout the night, but the next morning presented itself in such a way that it felt as if nothing had happened in the last couple of days. With bright sunshine and clear weather, we tried to dry our belongings before leaving for Gangotri.
Last night, after facing that snow blizzard, we took shelter at Lal Baba Ashram, and we got absolutely comfortable beds with wonderful rajai that people call here, and we had a comfortable night. And we did not sleep in the tents because it was too much windy, and this establishment, Lal Baba Ashram, is here since many years. Even there was nothing over here, this ashram was there. So we are really lucky to have got space over here, and the rates of staying here is around they charge 500 rupees per head, and they will give you lodging accommodations along with fooding within that 500 rupees. So that's great, isn't it?
The time had come for the last leg of our trek. We were getting ready to depart from Bhojbasa with both bitter and sweet memories. While my shoes were still in good shape, my uncle's had already perished. He had to change to our guide Peter's shoes during our journey to Tapovan itself. And now after that shoe got wet, he switched to his Ketos to trek the last 14 kilometers back to Gangotri. Well, with his experience of more than 40 plus treks, he managed it well. The otherwise barren and dull rock faces on our right hand side now were looking quite pretty after receiving fresh snowfall for the last couple of days. But the rockfall zone had some fresh landslide which we crossed carefully. The tree and bare branches of bhuj plants had started bearing new leaves after receiving rainfall, and there was a sense of fresh life and greenery everywhere around. Again, a reminder that life will never stop. It will move on, and so will we, with our collection of memories. Leaving back our footprints? Well, they will also get erased in a few days. In the end, many memories will also be forgotten. Perhaps that's why we like to take pictures and make videos. This was just a small attempt from my side to keep my memories alive forever, long after I am gone. Thank you.